wanted to do a quick check-in with you, Karan, to understand how things going for you and
Yeah,
how can I help.
yeah, I needed some advice. I think I'm making a lot of mistakes here and there, dilly-dallying, and I don't know if I'm on the right track or not. I need some advice that way.
That's what I'm here for. Tell me if you could just specify exactly what are the issues that you're having right now.
Starting off with the verbal part,
Mm-hmm.
especially in critical reasoning. So I tend to make a mistake a lot directly with overthinking and narrowing down to two, and then just I know you've said it a couple of times. The narrowing down to two, it's the normal, but I tend to overthink so much, then choose the wrong answer. Then with the RC, similar like that. But after you've taught primary purpose and inference, that has gotten out of the way. That's correct. Also, I wanted to ask, like, how do I keep with the revision part while going forward with the maths that you've started now?
Generally speaking, like RC latest is the primary document for you to be able to internalize the technique, right? And in my experience, I've seen people get that, like they hit that sweet spot in terms of making sure that everything has gotten in and they're able to instinctively apply it when they're somewhere around the 75 to 85 passage mark. Secondly, I think with respect to the revision part that you talked about, Karan, when you start with verbal, how much time do you typically have on a daily basis?
I have all the time in the world. I am a day trader, so there's couple of hours a day, like 3 hours a day max. Then the entire day I'm free.
Okay,
So I can
awesome.
study.
So,
Now,
perfect.
now I am, because previously, like, I had a business going on.
Especially since I believe that you still have to practice a bit of verbal. I think it's best of both worlds. So what you can choose to do is that once you're done with the priority work that I suggest that you do after every class, right? So you complete P1 and P2, those two priorities that I've talked about, and then you delve into the RC passages and CR questions. I would want you to keep a daily target of completing at least 4 passages and 20 CR questions on
20
top of what you're doing in quant.
Okay.
Right? So that will
4
ensure
RC and
you're not
20
just
CR. Okay.
4 RCs and 20 CRs, and here there is no upper limit in terms of the time that you can take. You can choose to take whatever time you wish to take. Every mistake that you made has been properly tabbed in an error log, right? So
Okay.
that's the last final task for yourself during the
Majority of my CR mistakes are coming from assumptions. Rest I can manage to get around 70-75%.
No worries. I think assumptions is one of those trickier topics because the overall approach becomes a little confusing, especially the negation technique becomes a little confusing when you're applying it initially. So
Right.
that's where I want you to be extremely patient. One of the reasons that I see sometimes people mess up their CR performance is primarily because they are in a rush to apply the technique without actually taking the time to negate the options properly. I still suggest that you negate all the 5 options because right now you're not trying to optimize for accuracy, you're trying to optimize for learning. And if you're trying to optimize for learning, then the more options you negate, the more confident you get. And that just boils down to patience, to be honest. Like, it's not really a skill or a background issue. It's just about
So I should not be rushing with the preparation, but I should take it slow with the application and the process.
Absolutely. And there's a study plan video, Karan, that you can ask MAHI.
Yeah, I did check it. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, and that's why I said that the application phase is where I see that people get separated in terms of winners and losers.
Okay.
Right? Where I know for a fact that if somebody's not taking the time to learn the application properly and they're rushing into timing, then they'll hit a plateau that'll be almost impossible to break no matter how much you practice. You seemed a little under pressure. So
yeah, because I've kind of messed up the last 2 attempts.
I know.
Yeah, so for that I'm also like, so when I give the exam I get a lot of anxiety. And I think the coach I had, like the online coach I had, they weren't really receptive or responding too much on a direct conversation. They were more like, let's play email. And I could not really, I need somebody to tell me what I'm going right and wrong. So I'm feeling much relief now.
No, absolutely. I'm glad that it helped, Karan. Even later on, like when you're starting with your mock tests, even though the classes might not happen at a regular frequency, at any time, if you feel that you're sort of in a position where you're feeling lost or stuck, right? Do reach out, because one of the things I know is that if people are left on their own for too long, the overthinking and overanalysis.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
So it degenerates into mental block, and that makes progress impossible. So reach out anytime you have those kinds of feelings where you feel I'm not really sure as to what needs to be done next. Happy to get a call and give you some more guidance.
Thank you so much, sir. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Not a problem. How are the classes going for you, Karan?
Pretty well.
Are you now feeling a little more confident on that?
Slightly more, because mistakes are still there, because then I'll do another revision on that.
There is a limit to how many mistakes you can make, and if you're taking care of them as and when they pop up, you will find your graph to constantly be on that upwards trajectory and feeling a little more confident at the end of the day. And how did the verbal classes, how did they go out for you?
Very easy. You made it everything seem very easy.
I'm glad.
Because I was overcomplicating it in my head with the tone, because I've never been taught tone and tenant, and so it was mostly rushing through the passages. Then after you taught it and I started approaching the questions, I was pretty high on the accuracy that time, because I had a pretty misguided or a misconception as to how to approach it. That made it quite a good job that way. So especially with the funny wordplay that GMAT throws at you, it confuses us, and plus an overthinker, so I'm like, okay, which one to choose? I'm end with 3 options, then I would randomly tick one and then jump on to the next one, and I turned out that that's the wrong answer, and that cycle would repeat over and over again.
Practice the right way. I think that's essentially what will get you the confidence there. You seemed a little stressed and nervous, and I just want to make sure that you understand, like, this is the way forward. Like, if in case you're focusing on the next target without making sure you've reached a certain level in the current phase that you're in, it will create stress and anxiety, because you know that you haven't been able to internalize something and you're still like trying to reach for that 90-95% accuracy within, let's say, 1.5-2 minutes. It will become a bit of a difficult task for you to obtain. How well did I adhere to the plan of action and the strategy that were taught during the class? That's it. It doesn't matter how many questions you get done. Just judge yourself on focus and adherence to the approach.